The loneliness he feels on a regular basis, no matter who he's with, is probably where he gets these insane ideas without questioning them at all. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's video. In this one I'm going to be doing a review of episode 3 of the Netflix original series You, which I'm sure you are all expecting at this point if you're no stranger to this channel. As much as I love making one video on a whole season of a show, I also love making multiple videos like these because there's so much to talk about. Previously, in episode 2, Alone, titled The Last Nice Guy in New York, Joe got to know Beck's on-again, off-again boyfriend Benji better than ever before, giving him all the information he needs to know that he doesn't deserve a place in her life, resulting in his decision to poison him. It's not the way I imagine he would have liked to go out, spending his final days in isolation in the basement of a bookstore, and neither would I, but in Joe's eyes, all that matters is that he and Beck get to live a happy life no matter what it takes. So far, his plan is working, as he scores 2 dates with the pretty grad student and even gets the opportunity to kiss her for the first time when she visits him at work. If you ask me, this is more of a deranged guy thing than a nice guy thing, but the psychology behind this series is what makes it even more interesting. Everything is happening from Joe's point of view, even though his entire world seems to be revolving around this woman he literally just met not even a month ago. The loneliness he feels on a regular basis, no matter who he's with, is probably where he gets these insane ideas without questioning them at all. He has a superiority complex that convinces him that he's better than everyone else, when in reality, he's incapable of seeing what's wrong with his actions in any way, shape, or form. The story of him and Beck is continued in episode 3, simply titled Maybe, for reasons that will be revealed by the end of this video. Without Benji to distract Beck from what she really wants in a relationship, Joe, according to him at least, it seems like it will only be a matter of time until they are an exclusive couple, taking the streets of New York City by storm. But before he can fully commit himself to being her boyfriend, Joe has other things he has to deal with, like the aftermath of Benji's death. You could say that he has a secret side job of being a serial killer, and no serial killer in their right mind, if they have one, that is, would simply leave the body anywhere where anyone could find it. Where exactly he could dispose of it, though, he hasn't figured out just yet. To take his mind off of this dilemma, for the time being at least, he meets up with Beck and her friends at the bar. Only, they have no idea that he's there, and he's sitting at a table far enough not to be seen but close enough to listen in on their conversation. There, he learns that Beck's new professor is almost as challenging as her previous one, minus the perverted comments, and she's still exploring her options with men, despite how well Joe thought things were going between them. Just the previous night, she reveals, she hooked up with one guy, and even goes as far as to go home with another one who happens to be the bartender after a couple of drinks, which he learns by following her home and watching her and the guy have bed-breaking sex. Considering the fact that he's in the process of disposing of a dead body for her, Joe doesn't exactly want to be just a maybe to her, and he can't kill everyone in New York City either, so he needs to step up his game and get rid of Benji for once and for all. I have to say, if she's kissing one guy and making him feel special, then bringing another one home every night, she's certainly in the wrong, but it's no secret that Joe is too. The first step to the mission is giving Paco a list of errands to run, a questionable list including all the supplies necessary to dispose of Benji, allowing Joe to spend more time with Beck. So, he takes advantage of the fact that her bed is now broken by suggesting taking a desperately needed trip to the furniture store. With these stalking skills, he could certainly be the one for Beck in a city of millions of them, if her sexuality is psychopath, that is. Believe it or not, they get only a few layers of clothing away from having sex right there, only for her to come to her senses and push him away, leaving him feeling more hopeless than ever before. She certainly is right to do this, but it would have been better if she pushed him hundreds of miles away rather than just a few feet. So, what I'm saying is, she needs a restraining order from this guy, who nearly gets caught with her ex-boyfriend's body, until he drops her off, puts Benji in the trunk of his car, and, of course, runs to her rescue once again. This time, though, it's to put her brand new bed together, and there, in the bedroom of her apartment, she reveals that she doesn't want to be seen as someone who is easy to Joe, and all is okay between them once again, as far as she knows. She even opens up to him about the loss of her father. Peach then enters the apartment in search of not a desperately needed trip to the furniture store, but to the emergency room, so Joe does all he can to help, then returns home, only to be questioned by the police and Paco's stepdad about giving Paco the list of errands that he did. Clearly today is not his day, but he somehow gets him off his back by innocently claiming that he is simply planting a garden in the city. I can't argue with his intelligence, but Paco's stepdad is no idiot either. He knows a bad guy when he sees one, but that doesn't mean he himself isn't one for abusing Paco's mother on more occasions than one. To avoid further questioning, he finally takes Benji into the woods, leaving a nearby couple under the impression that he's simply starting a campfire. At the same time, he unintentionally pushes Beck away the same way she did to him earlier. He simply can't stay away from her, even when it seems like he has way bigger problems to deal with. Just when he thinks he's ruined everything, as if stalking isn't big enough of a deal breaker, Beck struggles to stay on track with her writing and realizes that everything Joe said to her over the phone as he was disposing of Benji isn't exactly false. The only problem is she feels like he isn't letting her into his life as much as she's letting him into hers, so he shows her the books that mean more to him than anything else in the world, and all of her doubts completely fade away, for a little while at least. This is all the proof she needs that she and Joe could really be something special, so she tells Peach how she feels for him, despite how she looks down on him for not being the wealthiest guy she could get. It's during this moment that she realizes Joe may have stolen one of her books, but Beck is too happy to be suspicious of him any further, inviting him over to her apartment where they sleep together for the first time, and she isn't impressed at all, but rather completely shocked at how quickly it ends, and I don't blame her. What I do instead is feel secondhand embarrassment for Joe, because in this moment he doesn't have very much to be proud of. Well, that's going to be the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it for you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!